I walked in and smelled iron. It clung to the air, sharp and metallic, the way it does when skin splits. My son sat on the floor, knees pulled to his chest, a thin line of blood crawling from his lip. His eyes met mine for less than a second, then they dropped. My wife stood over him. He talked back about his real father, she said. Behind her, a man I didn't know gripped a belt. Leather looped in his fist, coiled like a snake that had already bitten. He smiled at me, slow, deliberate. Next time, he said, he won't be able to talk. I didn't move, not yet. I went to lift my boy. He flinched. My wife's brother stepped in front of the door, his weight filling the frame. He turned the lock. "You're not going anywhere." The sound of the bolt sliding home was almost gentle. I reached into my jacket. My wife saw. She screamed. I didn't say a word. Her scream wasn't fear for me, it was fear of me. I held my hand inside the jacket a beat longer than necessary. It wasn't a weapon she thought of, it was a truth she feared I might already have. Because I'd suspected, for weeks, the late nights, the strange calls answered in another room, the softness in her voice when she spoke to him, and the way she never once asked how my day was. But suspicion is a fragile thing. You don't accuse with it, you starve it, you watch it grow teeth. Now, here, with my son bleeding, the shape of it became clearer. Her lover wasn't a stranger, not really. He was the one she'd been speaking to when she said, "Don't worry, he'll never know." I'd thought she meant me. Now I wasn't sure if she'd meant my son. I played the role of a man who would talk later. That kept them calm. But that night I sat in the dark after they slept. I opened her phone. She'd changed the passcode. I didn't try to guess it. Guessing leaves marks. Instead, I called a friend at the phone company. 2 months of call logs, I said. Texts, too. By morning, I had the records. He called her every night after midnight. She called him during school pickup. The names were coded, saved under a woman's name. But numbers don't lie. I made copies, printed them, hid them. Then I called in another favor, DNA testing. 1 hair from my son's pillow, 1 from me. A quiet envelope sent to a quiet lab. The waiting was the part they never suspect, the patience, the stillness. They think silence means surrender. It never does. 2 weeks later, I had it in my hand, a report, clinical in tone, but heavy enough to change everything. Probability of paternity, 0.00%. I didn't feel anger when I read it. Anger is noisy. I felt nothing. That night, I slid the envelope across the table during dinner. She didn't open it right away. She knew before she saw. Her hand shook. Her fork clinked against the plate. When she read it, she whispered, "You don't understand." I looked at her lover, seated across from me like he belonged there. He didn't know whether to gloat or run. "Explain," I said. My voice was steady. She broke first. The story spilled. The affair, the decision to lie, the choice to keep me as the provider, him as the secret. The part she didn't say, but I heard, was that I had been convenient. The next day I invited her family over. They thought it was to talk. They thought this was still a negotiation. I waited until they'd all taken their seats. Her brother, her father, her lover. My son in the next room, door closed. I placed the DNA report in the center of the table. Slowly. No speech, no accusation. Her father read it first. His jaw locked. Her brother swore under his breath. The lover laughed, nervous, ugly, until he realized no one joined him. "This isn't," she started. I slid the stack of phone records on top of the report. Dates, times, durations. No one spoke. "I won't see you again," I said finally, to all of them, any of you. Then I walked past her lover. He flinched, as if I might touch him. I didn't. That would have been mercy. I took my son that night. Not because of blood or bruises, those heal, but because he deserved to grow up without a house built on lies. She called once. I let it ring. I moved us 2 towns over, a small apartment, quiet. He sleeps through the night now. Sometimes I think about the look on her face when she realized I hadn't lost control, that I had been in control the entire time, that the thing she feared in my jacket wasn't a weapon, it was knowledge. Knowledge is slower than violence, and it leaves deeper scars. I didn't take revenge. I handed her the mirror and let her drown in the reflection.